Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Artisan Wolf. Today we are looking at, finally, the US's Constitution, which is a Lexington class battlecruiser. And honestly, she's a lot of fun. Like, holy shit, isn't she a lot of fun? She's tier 6, which shocked me. I thought that they would at least put her at tier 7. But at tier 6? Bear in mind, she has 50 caliber long Mark 3s. They're not the 45s on the Colorado. So these are big guns. They have a 27-second reload. Colorado has a 27-second reload as well. The fire range isn't the best, 14.3. The dispersion, 320. If I compare that to the Colorado, 320. Okay, if we compare that to same tier battleships, 360. If we get our good old girl Warspite, 380. Constitution. Oh yeah, and also this ship as well. Honestly, doesn't interest me. Does not interest me one bit. And the reason why it doesn't interest me is I'm gonna go over this real quick. Is if I look at the main guns, 1000 to 1475. If I look at the Graf Spee, they're basically harder hitting guns, slightly, but you get double the reload. You get a 22-second reload, which is absolutely fucking brutal. You are tier 7 going up against tier 10 ships. Your belt armor is pretty bloody impressive. 350. That's a lot of belt armor. You do 30 knots, which is, yeah, that's alright. Time to turn 180, 33 seconds. Yeah, no thanks. That's a long time. That's a really long time. These are the 283s. The max range is 17 kilometers, which is alright. The penetration is 450. Okay, 450. If we look at the Graf Spee, 425. Hillenberg, 450. Friesenberg. So they are basically tier 9 guns at tier 7. This one has what, a 12-second reload? Yeah. What's the dispersion? I forgot to look at the dispersion of the main guns. Dispersion is absolutely horrendous. 310. That's not really that good. I mean, for 283, just gonna correct that person right there, because that's starting to piss me off. With people saying that their Constitution is a battleship, she's not. She's a battle cruiser, and it's starting to really fucking grate on me. Constitution is basically, if you don't know what the Constitution is, it was basically the Americans became very interested in the HMS Hood. And they wanted to make their own version of the HMS Hood. I'm not sure if it explains it here. No, basically not. She's basically got the same layout. Honestly, in game, and it says she has 178mm of belt armor, which, yes, that's not a lot. That really isn't a lot. You've got to bear in mind she's tier 6. You can take this up into high tier. I wouldn't recommend it, because when you take her up into high tier, you are going to have to use improved rangefinders. You're going to have to. Because otherwise, what's the point? Now, improved rangefinders. Let's have a look to see what that does. If I get this, so once you put improved rangefinders on, it puts your range up to 16.17. So 16 point, basically 16.2 kilometers. That's nearly a 2 kilometer increase. Which honestly, if we look at Japan, Fuso 13.6. Okay. Warspite 15.3. Warspite is just it has ridiculous range. Warspite also has 330 millimeters of belt armor, which honestly for this ship is fucking insane. She also has 36,500 hit points. 36,500. Keep that in mind. 36,500. Constitution has basically 10,000 more hit points. She's a huge ship. If we compare her to the size of like the Washington, she's bigger than the fucking Washington. Constitution, Midway. She's the size of fucking Midway. Constitution, Montana. She's slightly smaller than Montana, but that's not the point. The point is, this ship is a lot of fun. Now, you can see that 32 knots. Yes, she does 32 knots. But if you put crammed engine room on, and I really recommend you do this, you can make her do 37 knots, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. The Constitution, if I remember correctly, that puts her as the fastest big gunned, and I am saying big gunned, the fastest big gunned ship in the game. Washington does 28 knots. That'll put up to about 32, 33 knots. Constitution could go up to 37 knots. Her rudder shift time is a little bit slow. I did notice that her rudder shift time, it does feel very slow. Very slow. I'm going to turn off this right now. She does feel very slow. Now, out of the two, what one would I recommend? Constitution, every single time. The reason why I recommend Constitution because high tier is just a big old clusterfuck. It really is. Why would you get a tier 7 premium and play against tier 10 ships? Do you see the problem there? Like, and you got to bear in mind, this tier 7 premium handles like a fucking brick. So also the torpedo protection isn't brilliant on the Constitution. I mean, she's not designed to take hits. She really isn't. Hang on, give me a second, guys. She really isn't designed to take hits. She's a huge ship. Now, I know there's gonna be people out there that's gonna say, "Oh, we should have gotten the version with the dual purpose 5-inch guns and the torpedoes." Well, if that was the case, she would have been tier 7 or tier 8. Honestly, that would have hurt her really fucking bad, because she would have had the same armor, she would have had the same speed, she would have had the same turning circle, probably. She would have most likely had slightly better torpedo protection. She would have been same, but worse, because she would be higher tier. She's perfect where she is. The turret first is absolutely fucking slow. It is the slowest turret first I've ever seen in game. It will take you longer than it will take you longer than 30 seconds to turn these turrets 180. They are so fucking slow. It is absolutely shocking that you can get these turrets. I would say probably closer to 20 seconds, honestly. But these turrets are so slow. If you put improved recoil dampeners on, it just makes it even slower. And honestly, like yeah, you get a 25% buff to your weapon dispersion, which this shit kind of needs. Honestly, she's not like the Warspite, which basically when people keep on fucking texting me. It's not like Warspite. Warspite basically has built-in oh fuck off. Has basically built-in recoil dampeners. I find the Warspite to be pretty accurate. Also, these are just absolutely fucking insane. 350,000 damage in total with the USS Colorado. Honestly, I think that they do some of these missions just to piss people off. Honestly, they honestly do. Because this isn't really funny. Like, deal 250,000 damage in the fucking Pensacola. Pensacola is one of the worst ships to ride, and the reason why is just going over the Pensacola really quickly. Is the Pensacola is just a big old. Oh no, that's Pennsylvania. Pensacola is literally built out of citadels. You literally hit this thing and it explodes. So yeah, Cleveland is a lot better, but not that much. Constitution. Now, I have noticed with these 16-unit guns, you're not really going to overpen a lot. The only ships you're going to really overpen on are destroyers. But the funny thing is that it's almost like you'll find sap, semi-armor piercing, with these guns. It almost feels like that. I tested it out on the Warspite, and I overpenned so much more on the Warspite than I did on the Constitution. The Constitution, I think, may have some kind of inbuilt improved fuse timing or something like that, where the shell basically explodes a lot quicker than your traditional battleship battlecruiser shell. How would I rate Constitution? I would give her, because you can effectively angle in the ship, and the firing angles are absolutely amazing. The speed is absolutely amazing. The turning circle is questionable. I mean, she's very long ship, 266 meters long. Does she accelerate quickly? Well, if we look at, I don't know, Washington accelerates in 30 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty slow. If we look at Colorado accelerates in 25 seconds. Constitution accelerates in 18 seconds. Constitution is, if we look at the Pennsylvania accelerates in 25 seconds. If we look at the Warspite accelerates in 25 seconds. So when you ask me, does the Constitution accelerate quickly? Bet your ass it does. I mean, yeah, the Congo was originally classed as a battlecruiser, but she accelerates in 20 seconds. Constitution accelerates in 18. She's the fastest accelerating tier 6 battleship battlecruiser. And she's also extremely chunky. 46,000 hit points. Like, that's tier 7 levels of hit points. I mean, what the fuck? Like that's an insane amount of hit points. That's the Washington is 47,000 hit points, and you got the fucking Constitution, which is tier 6. Has a tier 8 level of hit points. South Dakota, 49. She's basically a tier 8 battlecruiser at tier 6. But she doesn't perform like a tier 8, she performs like a tier 6. The guns are very good. The guns are very good. The shells are not that slow. These 16-inch 45 caliber, I mean, I think they're the Mark 1s. If I have a quick look, if I look at the US's Colorado and look at our main guns, look, yeah, Mark 1s, they're 45s. The US's Constitution, South Dakota uses 45s. That's interesting. This uses 50s Mark 7s, and this one uses 50s Mark 3s. But the weird thing is, 490, 500. So the weird thing is even though she has very good dispersion for such large caliber guns, you've got to bear in mind these guns are fucking huge. These are basically, imagine this is basically the higher tier version or the mid tier version of a Musashi. So this is like how do I explain it? So this is basically a Musashi but in mid tier. You literally cannot bow tank this thing unless you're in something like a Pennsylvania or a Warspite. Anything else just gets absolutely nuked off the face of the planet with this thing, and it's because this thing has 16-inch fucking guns. These guns are absolutely massive. The reload is pretty damn impressive. The muzzle velocity is pretty damn impressive. The dispersion is pretty damn impressive. The AP damage is pretty damn impressive. The HE damage is pretty damn impressive. I know that some of you are going to be like saying in capitals, pretty damn impressive, because this ship is pretty damn impressive. That's going to be my slogan in a minute. Pretty damn impressive. The AA, questionable. She only has flak, but she only has 6 of them. She has no machine guns whatsoever, which is fucking questionable as shit. Like, who the fuck designs this? She does have 6-inch, which I hope the devs make it so that the 6-inch can be flak as well, like that dual purpose flak, because this thing really struggles against aircraft. Like, For example, I was fighting, what was it? It was Japanese, I know for sure. I think it was Hosho. I was fighting against Hosho aircraft. Hosho fucking aircraft. Tier 4 aircraft. And it took me, well, like 45 seconds to 50 seconds, probably a little bit longer than that, to shoot down one fucking squadron. With my AA. Holy shit. The AA is so fucking bad on this thing. Even if you put improved fuses, it's still gonna take you at least half a minute just to kill a fucking squadron. Like this is not like a whole fleet of planes that an aircraft launches. This is one single squadron. It'll take you longer than half a minute, or probably even a fucking minute just to kill. Because the A on this thing is basically non-existent. Literally doesn't exist. Unless I'm missing something, the AA is literally dog shit. It is the worst AA I've ever seen on ship. That's the only balancing factor I've seen on this thing. The one thing I will say is this thing is notoriously fucking hard to citadel. I've fired at constitutions with a constitution. Even if they're fucking broadside on, half the fucking time, you will not do citadel damage. You will do normal pen damage. It pisses me off. I'm not sure if it's a bug. I'm not sure if it's a problem. But my fucking god, it is the most excruciating thing. But when you're being shot at, half the time, people won't do citadel damage. And you literally pray to Iron Jesus and say, thank you so fucking much. It is the most ridiculous shit. Unless this thing has a citadel which is like 2 billion miles below the fucking ocean. This thing just does not eat citadels. It just gives everybody the middle finger. It literally does. I would rate this thing like 8.5 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. Probably an 8.5. A 9 is stretching it, but an 8.5 is like, this thing has everything going for it. Even if you run, now this is going to be a shock to everyone. Even if you run crowd, engine, machinery, all or nothing does decrease it. But if you run that as well, and if you run magazine safety overrides, if you run basically all of the what do you call it? All of the perks which make you more vulnerable to citadels, I don't notice a change. Like, I notice all of the buffs. Where are the debuffs? I've only been mag detonated once, and I've had this ship for more than a day. Like, what the fuck? This ship is either, I'm either having extremely good luck, or this ship has the smallest citadel in the world. Because the amount of times I've been citadeled, I think it's only been 3 or 4 times I've been citadeled. And all those times, it's been, because I've played most of the time on mid-tier, it's been, I think, once was another Constitution, and then twice was a Pennsylvania. Fuso physically cannot citadel this thing. It physically can't. There's no way a Fuso can citadel this thing. Unless you get really good plunging fire. I have noticed plunging fire, you do get more citadels, so that would back up the claim that it is a underwater citadel. Underwater basically means the citadel sits under the water. Um, it's not a waterline citadel. It can't be, and it can't be an exposed citadel because if it was an exposed, you'd be detonating like it's 4th of fucking July. Um, but you're not. It's got to be an underwater citadel. The first time I got, or the only time I got mag detonated was someone hit me. If I show you, someone hit me right here. I think it was like here, and then it hit my turret, or it hit my turret here. I'm not so sure, but I know it was around this area. And someone hit me, and it was the biggest explosion I've ever seen. Like it filled quite a big portion of the fucking map. Like it was like the Zaza bomber going off. Holy shit! I've never seen Psych explode with such ferocity before. The other downside about this ship is the turrets are so fucking slow. But unlike the washing machine here, which the turrets get knocked out left, right, centre, with the Connie here, the turrets are the most tanky part of this ship. You're not gonna knock these turrets out. It's impossible. I've only had my B turret knocked out once. I had to think there for a second. I've only had it knocked out once. That's been the only time. And it shocks me to the core of how insanely good. Like, this ship is not overpowered. I know that I've met people that have said, "Oh, the Constitution is overpowered. Oh, it should be a tier 7. Oh, it should be a tier 8." I'm sure that there's some people out there which are just taking the piss, but I know that there's could be other people out there which are genuinely pissed off that there is basically a Yamato class ship. It's not really a Yamato class, but basically, if you compared mid tier right now to high tier, Constitution is basically a Masashi. She bitch slaps the living shit out of everything she looks at. You're literally not safe. If you're cruiser, you're gonna die. If you're battleship, you're gonna get punished. If you're destroyer, sit broadside on. Literally that. If you're destroyer, sit broadside on. If you're bowing towards him, you're gonna fucking die. The only counters to this ship is aircraft carrier and submarine. Because this thing has no ASWs. Yeah, this thing has no anti-submarine warfare. Yeah, it can't do fuck all. And it has no AA. Well, it has AA. It's just not very effective anti-air. Well, I say not very effective when you start to stack up the constitutions, and I've met plenty of players using this ship. I've seen a lot more constitutions than I've seen fucking Scharnhorsts. I've played quite a bit of high tier today, and I've seen what 3-4 Scharnhorsts, and in mid tier I've seen people bring the constitution to high tier. I've seen at least 7 or 8 constitutions in high tier, and in mid tier I've seen at least 15, probably 16, 17 constitutions. They are all over the place, and it's just because the Constitution is not only a good ship, she's fun. She does 37 fucking knots, and you don't really get citadeled. She's a fun ship. She's not overpowered. Is she underpowered? I mean, if they were to give her slightly better AA, like maybe a few AA guns, or maybe like more like dual purpose, it maybe start to push her towards the slightly overpowered tier. Like, she's not insanely good. She's good, but she's not insanely good. Honestly, if you look at the Lexington has 178 millimeters of belt armor. Honestly, the Lexington is, for an aircraft carrier, she is insanely fucking tanky. She does 33 knots, but shockingly, the Constitution does 32. Even if it says in the fucking history, it says 33 knots. I'm not sure if that's a typo, but please change that. Please change it. Please. Honestly, I would show you some gameplay, but I'm busy typing out a story at the moment, and I'm busy with Christmas Day. Honestly, this ship, if you want a more like super cruiser kind of play style, like kind of like the Congo, like if you enjoy like the Congo play style where you're like really quick, you don't really care about AA, and you carry guns and whatnot, this ship is the ship to go to. You literally do not get punished. I'm not sure if it's a bug, and I know that the developers are probably going to look into it once I upload this video. I rarely get citadel in this thing, and it is a fucking joke. It really is a joke. Most of the time, you're going to think, oh, I got citadeled. No, you didn't get citadeled. It's just the fact that your armor is so shit, but it's just thick enough to arm the shells, so you don't get citadeled. You actually get penned. Like, all the fucking time. Guns lower than, I would say, like 305s. So like 12-inch. Guns smaller than that aren't really gonna. They're not really gonna do that much damage unless they fire an HE. Actually, that's not really fair. I'd say like 8-inch and above is where they start to become lethal. Like 8-inch guns, you need to be perfectly broadside on just to do damage. But guns above that, you're gonna start to run into problems. I also have heard something about the Alaskas. The Alaska class ship. I have heard that she may be coming to the game relatively soon, and there's more evidence building up that she could be a premium, just like the Constitution. That terrifies me. The reason why it fucking terrifies me is because the Alaska is a baby Iowa. She's literally a mini Iowa. The Alaska also has spaced armor. Now I know that they don't implement spaced armor in the game, but I believe that they sort of like build it in to the belt armor. So the Alaska has I think it's like 305 millimeters belt armor, and then behind that is like, I think it's like a 70 or 80 millimeter belt of like spaced armor. So you're looking at around 385 to like 365, 365 to 385 millimeters of fucking belt armor, which is absolutely batshit crazy for a technically she historically she's a super cruiser, but she would come under the brand of battle cruisers in the game. Because adding in a new type of ship called super cruisers is kind of starting to stretch it. So she would come under the class of battle cruiser. She definitely would not come under the class of heavy cruiser, but she would come under the class of battle cruiser. Now, unlike the Iowas, the Alaska class would be very nimble, would be very good to accelerate. Would have 305s, but they would have insanely high pens. They would probably have insanely good reloads as well. We're probably looking at probably like 15-second reload. Like 20 seconds maybe a little bit too high or a little bit too long with reload. But we'll see how the Alaska comes in. We'll see how it goes. Constitution is a fantastic premium, and honestly, she's on offer right now for I think it was like 825 gold, which isn't bad. Don't waste your gold on the Sean Horse. Sean Horse is just not worth it. Until they fix high tier, which I don't see them fixing high tier. I really don't. High tier is a fucking mess at the moment. It really is. It is an absolute butcher shop right now. Until they fix high tier, I do not see the point of getting another tier 7 premium, of wasting your valuable gold on tier 7 premium. I just don't see it. I'm really sorry, but I just don't. Like, if it was a tier 8 premium, like the washing machine, then yeah, I would say yeah, get her. But the fact that you're getting tier 7 premium, which it has pretty good guns, but you got a 22-second reload, which you're going up against, like, Graf Space and you're just going up against a lot of shit. You really are. You got 350mm of belt armor. I mean, you can go for the Scharnhorst if you want to, but just bear in mind, your hit point pool isn't that good. I mean, it's average for tier 7, but the Constitution has a lot more. You need to actually unlock the Admiral Hipper first, until, like, I think, like, you have to unlock the Admiral Hipper before you can buy the Scharnhorst, which is a bit of a deflation, but at the same time I kind of understand. Now, I haven't looked at sort of the Torps. Torps are basically the same. Okay. The secondary range is no, that's torpedoes again. The secondary range is 10.2 kilometers, which is pretty good. They are pretty good. Honestly, I just realised the 105s here, but 150s here. The 150s, the 7.5 second reload, is that a bit too long? I would say yes. I mean, the German battleships, yeah, let's just name it as battleship. Honestly, the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau were originally designed around being like this kind of like semi battle cruiser battleship kind of thing. Like the Scharnhorst class, I think they're Gneisenau class or Scharnhorst, I'm not entirely sure, but the sister ships, like they were designed to carry 380s. So technically they are battleships, but with these guns, the Scharnhorst is technically a battle cruiser. She can't really square off against other battleships. Because she's tier 7, it's going to be really rough for her. I mean, bless her. I've seen a Scharnhorst get absolutely nuked in the face by Montana. It's just like from full health to nothing. So it's rough. It is rough for tier 7 at the moment. These you can absolutely butcher the crap out of Montana. Look at the Montana main guns. 556. The main armor belt is 409. But the thing is people don't understand. It is virtually impossible to pen a Montana unless you're like high tier. When I mean high tier, I mean tier 9 and above. You're never gonna pen this. Like even if like they have to be flush, broadside on for you just to pen. But if they're at like slight angle, you might as well just fucking give up. Really, might as well just give up. Um, Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Um, Type in the comment section. Do you feel happy with the Constitution? I feel very happy with the Constitution. I think the Constitution is a great shit. Um, is she overpowered? No. She's not overpowered. Is she strong? Yeah, she's reasonably strong. She's not weak. I would say she's in between. She's in between of very strong and weak. She's semi-strong. Um, like the torpedo protection isn't great. The AA is absolutely garbage. The turret first is pretty crap. The guns hit really hard. If you get a citadel, you're gonna nuke that shit. Like, holy shit. Texas honestly just gets eaten alive. I've hit a Pennsylvania for all of my shells, and each one was a citadel, and I nearly one hit him. So just put it into perspective, that's effectively a 30,000 damage citadel. Now I know that people are going to say, "Oh, you can't hit for that much. You can't do this or do that." Mate, I've seen fucking Montanas hit for like fucking 60k citadels. Yeah, yeah. Just put that into fucking perspective right now. She's a great ship. She really fucking is a great ship. She has her downsides and upsides. She's a fun ship. So yeah. I'll see you guys later. Peace.